Hello and welcome to the final block of the session. Today we're going to focus on running technique, looking at endurance running. So we're going to focus on our arm action, our body position and our foot placement, sort of working on foot gait. We're going to compare this for the English style, like what you're used to, sort of rolling the foot, and then we're going to focus on sort of comparing that to the Kenyan style, because they sort of use like more of a springy step, like a skip. So we're going to compare both of these in 2 sessions during the week, using tempo sessions for these. So now we're going to go on to our warm-up, focusing on like a similar version of last week with our plyometrics session. So we're going to do some jogging, some high knees, skipping for height and skipping for distance first before we go on to the technique of a skip and B skip. Okay, so let's go. So I want you to repeat this sort of twice through. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate a skip for you. This is sort of like a high knees but with a skipping action. So it looks like this. So as you can see, I'm up tall, my head's looking forward, and my feet are going underneath my hip, and yeah, from the side as well, and I've got like that opposite arm drive to knee. Okay, so if we do that from cone to cone, so now if we go on to B skip, that's very similar to A skip as in terms of the high knee. So if we break that down, it's sort of a skipping motion to get up to the high knee, sort of at 90 degrees with your foot up, and then sort of kick that foot out and then snap it down, like that. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to do a technique as in we're going to roll the foot, so that's sort of starting from your heel, going to the middle of your foot and then onto the ball. To make this harder you might, as in you'll just roll the foot like that, and then to make it harder you might want to go up onto your toes and sort of do a little skipping action. So let's this will just be quite a slow exercise, making sure that you can feel each part of your foot hitting the ground. Yep. So now we're going to go on to the main session, looking at the English style of running first. We're going to incorporate the arm action, the body position and the foot strike in the main set of drills next. And I want you to use those techniques focusing in your main session with your 30-minute tempo run. So we're going to go on to the body action first. This might feel a little bit weird when you walk through it, so if you walk through it a couple of times and then you might want to incorporate a jog when you're doing the drill. So we're going to keep upright, feet underneath hips when you're walking through it, and sort of leaning forward, sort of just and relaxing the shoulders as you walk through. Okay, and then adding a bit of a jog. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the foot action. This is sort of rolling the foot from the heel to the toe, as we did in the warm-up. Keep an upright position when you're doing it. And then finally onto our arm action. So this is sort of pumping your arms forward and back straight, making sure that keep your shoulders relaxed, keep upright, head looking forward, making sure that our arms don't cross the centre of our body, so we don't want that one running. So as you walk through, and then put that into a jog. So now we're going to incorporate that technique into a 30-minute tempo session. You're going to hold a pace that you're going to do a pace that you can hold for 50 to 60 minutes, but obviously you're only going to run 30. So the first 10 minutes I want you to run at a 75 to 80% pace. You should know how this already feels because you've had lots of practice doing this over the years. The next 10 minutes is going to be 80% plus, so a bit harder, and then the final 10 minutes is back down to that 75 to 80% pace, and then a 2-minute cool down at the end. I'm going to let you choose your terrain, so you might want to train on grass, especially if you're injured, a track, if you can get to one at the minute, the road, or even a hill to make it trickier. To make this session easier, you can reduce the pace rate, and to make it harder you might want to try a trickier terrain. And then the following week I'd like you to be able to sort of come to the session with your thoughts based around how you found the session with that technique, and sort of give me some feedback on that. So now we're going to look at the Kenyan style technique, because they sort of seem to run quite effortlessly. So now we're going to do some drills based on that, looking at body position first. So they sort of seem to have their head up, sort of upright position, but they sort of seem to have like their chest out in like a bow position sort of. So it's going to feel really weird doing this, but if we walk through it, and then to make it harder you might want to add your foot strike in, sort of doing like a running pace. So let's start with walking through. So you're going to have your chest out, sort of arm action, sort of right upright. That would feel dead weird.
Okay.
So now we're going to run. So you should feel more springy. I feel more springy. So now we're going to go on to the foot action. This is very different to like our English style. They don't roll the foot at all. So they use like a tripod position, sort of striking the ground with the heel, the big toe and the little toe at the same time. So it's like a skipping action, like we do skip to the height. So let me demonstrate that. I'll try to. So yeah. Just sort of, it's perfect. Can't do that. It's really hard to get your toe to do the second thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So next we're going to go on to the arm action. This is much like a sprinter's, so this is going to be like forward and back, sort of propelling your arms, keeping your fists closed, and then sort of arms at 90 degrees, don't cross over your body. Yeah, that's probably what you need to think about. So let's go on to like walking this through. So it's much like a sprinter's, keeping them arms closed. And then into a jog. So I want you to think about, did that feel faster than the other style? Okay, so now you're going to do like another tempo session, but this is going to be shorter. This is going to be for 20 minutes. You're going to use that Kenyan style, so you're going to jog for 20 seconds, and you should feel quite springy when doing this. So you're going to focus on the arm action, chest position, and that should feel like someone's got an elastic band around you and sort of pulling you along. And then you're going to focus on that, definitely that foot action, because it's a lot different from what you're used to. So you're going to run it, as I say, jog for 20 seconds using a 60 to 70% pace. Then you're going to go into a steady run for 10 seconds, 75 to 80% pace. I'd like you to sprint for 5 seconds at 80% plus. And then you're going to do 5 sets of these. I'd like you to do it on grass or maybe a track, like a soft surface, because you're definitely not used to that running style. And then you're going to do a cool down of a 2-minute jog. To make this easier, you might want to do like the old style of running, sort of, you know, using that foot to sort of roll your foot back. And then for to make it hard, you might want to increase this time. So instead of 20-minute session, a 30 or 40-minute session. And then next week, if you'd like to come with feedback, you know, think about, does this make you feel a bit springier, or is the old style sort of a lot better than this one? And would you use this in a race? Thanks ever so much, and I hope you've enjoyed this session.